Okay, I was recommended to play this demo. I wasn't exactly gonna stream anymore, but I assume because it's a demo, it's not gonna take that long to do this. Aside from seeing the random pictures on Google, I don't know what this game is. Aside from a visual novel. I don't know how long this demo is either.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh, that's a weird thing. Okay. That's a lot of questions.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
No. I don't like how the UI is like this. Anyways, I said nope.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
You're the hero.
Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Wait, what?
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. Your silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
How many times am I gonna end up back at the house? How many times are you willing to do this to me?
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
No. So, if he's gonna narrate for me, can I? Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, yeah, there's no...
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
But
in every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
I'm nodding my head right now. Yes. Yes.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Wait. That's not game over.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Can I... No. No. Yeah, these walls weren't here last time. I agree with this one.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there.
No.
It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess.
Why me?
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off.
Yeah, we're not gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna stand right here.
The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
No. I can lie to you.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
No!
The interior of the cabin is odd, the air smelling faintly of plastic, the wood of the walls fitting together at uncomfortable angles. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table, its legs all the wrong lengths. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
I feel sorry for anyone with OCD.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
I agree.
I, for one, would rather have it. We don't really know what we're dealing with here. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? We should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun?
Why is this voice like far away?
You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
What do you mean?
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more. Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
What even am I?
But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase built from an unidentifiable and featureless material. The steps barely seem to fit together, and upon closer inspection, they barely seem to go anywhere at all, let alone down. The air here has an almost artificial quality to it, the scent of plastic from the cabin mingling with a cocktail of chemical odours. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice carries up the stairs, its multitonal lilt adding to the already uneasy atmosphere.
Hi, though. Is someone there?
Can I get the controls again? Because I don't really want to click. I forgot about this. Oh well.
This isn't what I expected her to sound like. What is she? Well, she's not a princess, that's for sure. She is a princess. Don't let your imagination run wild. Good. You're still listening to reason. It takes you a moment to orient yourself before you're able to start moving forward. As you enter the next room, the form of the princess comes into view, her wrist bound to the far wall in heavy shackles. She locks eyes with you, one moving a little faster than the other, the loose skin of her face stretching into something resembling a smile.
Is that company? We don't remember the last time we had company.
Holy shit. If we knew she'd be like this, maybe we would have taken the knife?
Why are you just standing there? Are you scared of us?
Not really. Oh shit. Hi. Are you seriously cutting off the demo? What? What? There was like nothing to it. There was like nothing to it.
You're here to...
Alright, if it's gonna be this short. Is there an option that says like I've done this before? No.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. We're not going to ignore.
Yeah.
The interior of the blade is your implement. You'll need...
Oh, though. Wait, what the heck? It's not here this time.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
The table's actually proper this time.
door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Okay, this is different.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Okay.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her. You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
You are very direct.
Do you?
Do you know who the narrator is?
So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
You didn't give me the option.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Okay.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Unless they're just stalling for time to end the world.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Sure.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Okay.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
No.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
Okay.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Why am I still stuck with you?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
There's a mirror here?
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the basement. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
You shouldn't have come down here unarmed. I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Are we not the first?
No. I've been here. What
you walk
the
down the stairs
heck?
and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
I agree.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? I'm sure the two of us have quite a bit to talk about.
I agree. Was it the first time?
You're here.
Let's go back to the
You make
cabin.
warning. We're not going to ignore. The interior of the blade.
Let's not take the blade.
Her voice
Hello? Is someone there?
That's different.
is hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed. Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
This is not my thoughts right now, but okay.
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Why do you have like 3 personalities?
Okay. Oh,
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
No.
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
It's not a matter of me believing. I frankly just don't care. This is an option. I see. I don't really see a difference between these two.
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She
I agree.
hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right? You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
I do not.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut.
What?
You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try the door. Your shouts and plead. You're here to slay the princess. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
You know, if you had the ability to do this a long time ago, why didn't you just do this earlier?
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the
You throw the
blade from
dagger
upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, you cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it takes little. Her limb falls to the ground,
That's
and the
different.
heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you.
No, we won't have any of that. The stake as the prince. Wait, watch me.
Same thing.
What are you doing?
Same thing so far.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade! Move the blade! As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
I guess not.
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark. And you die. You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to...
Okay, so there's 3 variants. Supposed to be.
Terrible sense of deja vu. No, if he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the 4 of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving. We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job. Those are 2 very different questions, but fine. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least if you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably... You were the one who did us in, villain.
I agree.
Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. I beg to differ. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense. Anyway, I believe your second question was,
What's the point of doing anything?
If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme. Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone. That's right, you can't stop all of us. We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does. Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on the situation. I just hope for all our sakes that you make the right call. Just be quick about it. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh. I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice. Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a professional, and I'm not going to let my dislike for you get in the way of helping you save the world. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Okay.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is.
All she has to do is bite her arm off.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is... A warning. Before you go, she will lie. She will... We already told you we're not playing on... I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure... I do. But I also speak for... Sure, yeah, your passions don't pay their bickering anymore.
Alright, what does the house look like now?
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries. A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Very different. Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted. You walk up to the wall next to the... What are you talking about? This isn't... reach for, but there was a mirror a second ago.
Wait, but I'm touching it this time.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know.
Oh,
We
never
can't
mind.
gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing but it's still a stone basement. A soft voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
Same voice.
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do... Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the
carpet
far
now.
wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
I was so worried about you. You remember me, right?
Is this manipulation or?
You're here. Don't mention it. You make your way. Warning, she will love. We're not going to ignore.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's
Enty
the
blade.
same. Take the blade. Is there a difference?
Her voice.
Who's...
She sounds. Don't let it.
Oh, are you now?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. You walk down the stairs.
She's so coldly.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
You step forward.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only... So, you should just drop it. Best...
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? She's unarmed. If you hesitate...
Are you sure she's not armed? Whatever.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
No.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terror. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over? It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse?
No, just stab her more.
I really don't think you should do that.
Okay, why does that matter?
And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that. Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, A world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of space. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy. I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey, we're not just going to stay here forever, right? Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices' pleas fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
What happens if I pull the blade out?
You're don't mention. She will not. You. Don't. Good. You walk down the street. Focus on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill?
You step.
Oh, I'm so.
She's. You love. You feel.
This is not. Do you?
There it is. Yeah, but it would. I. You lean down and wrap your hand around the blade's hilt. But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place, you feel a sharp and sudden jab in your side.
What?
What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you, for whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end you're here to... Oh, she will know. It's good to be careful. Agreed. The blade is your
What the
implement.
heck?
You'll need it if you want to do this right. Are we really doing this without a weapon? You know she has one, right? The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look at the air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. Scraping? She's not even trying to hide her knife. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. Her grating...
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There's something wrong with that voice. I can hear her bloodlust. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
Finally, somebody, quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
We're not falling for it. She's tricking us. Can't you hear that threatening edge to her voice? She just wants us to get close. If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
Hey, I see.
You're... Of course, I mean, does it? While I nevertheless, and before calls out, it's no unless I'm talking. Don't look. Oh, like I. Are you? Then I guess within each. So sure, go. You make your. We're not gonna ignore the blade.
Oh.
You
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here.
You walk down the stairs. She's so focus on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away.
The blade. Of course. Don't you dare. You ignore the trembling in your.
You poor thing.
You step forward.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that's so, you.
Do you hear? She's unarmed. I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes.
Hesitating? Why don't you. Then I'm not talking to you. I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her or drop the blade.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicion. Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting with the last bit of your.
Oh.
The two of you.
Do you really think that.
There it is again. But you don't have the time to worry over such things.
Do I have the razor again? It is the
You're
razor.
here.
Okay.
Ike, if he doesn't. Stab. That's it. Calm. Those are two. Let you. But had you. Seriously? Fine. You're silent, but fine. Oh. There's always at first, but where you lose.
Wait, what? Oh, that's just an ending route in general. I see.
You're here.
Okay, now I have the narrator PvP to do.
Don't mention. She will not. The. She said, "Don't let it." Great job. She focus.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here.
You step.
Oh, I'm so.
Yeah, she. You lunge. You feel.
This is now. Do you?
There it is. Yeah, but it's over. I really and why I've told. Yes. Why don't you? But that. You open. Oh, what? This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, this is what's best for everyone. I do, but you're the blade. We can use. I can hear everything you say, little voice. He's right. Do you hear that? It wants to take this. Do you not? There's more for us to do. Don't you? I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for say? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time, the princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
Oh, she's gonna be a ghost now.
You're on a path. You're here to...
Who's my buddy this time?
Oh, don't you start if he doesn't... well... Those are two... If you're... Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just... Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me. Because I... And I believe... What do you mean? Yes, but in this purely... Had you... It doesn't... Oh, warn. She will...
What's the house look like now?
The interior of the cabin is cold.
It's just a haunted
The
house.
blade is... It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead.
Is there a difference if I don't take the knife when I'm this far in?
Very. Maybe there is... Who cares? I care less about that and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to... I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no... You walk up to the wall. This really is... You reach forward, but it was there, and now it's gone. Let's not... You take... The room below. Nobody's... As much as I appreciate the... I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
Oh, there's no voice.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body. Okay. She's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin.
What's a knife gonna do against this?
And finally, the rest of the body
Why
floats
is
up
she
to
still
join the
shackled?
head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went. Like how you murdered me.
Hello, this? Find out if there's a difference. If there's no difference, then I think I've seen everything.
Nobody's here. Okay, as you just... It's before you have 2 and 5. Oh.
Oh,
Oh wait, right, it doesn't prompt you again. Are there any other endings? What is this? Oh. How many endings have I gotten? I've gotten 1, 2, 3. It's like 5 or 6 endings. Wait, let me check something. Oh, actually, wait, what happens if you kill her this way?
You're... The... Good. You watch. I am...
Okay.
Yes, I am getting you out of here.
Only making this more...
Thank you.
You're making... No, they're laughing.
I'm guessing-
Make down.
Okay.
Wait, some... Easier.
I heard.
There's a
If I could.
she written. You. You cut the blade is sharp. Heard she? No.
Oh yeah, there's a probably killer there.
No. Watch. Okay.
There.
There's no going back now. You bring the blade down to strike, but she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see that razor sharpness in her gaze? I don't think she's bluffing. She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her. If it can't just end like this. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny that everything goes dark.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
Oh, she will
What does she look like now?
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of... The blade is your implant. That's because there's... Come on. Well, at least we can all agree now that there's... You take... Well, if... The air, her voice...
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. But you are. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognize...
She must have you confused. She seems... You look. Do you want... You need... Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below.
Why do you look like a werewolf now?
A fire crackles in the center of the room, casting unsettling shadows across the dirt walls. The princess crouches on the other side.
And there you are. One hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
Okay. I kinda need a redo of this. Take the blade.
Good. She focus.
And there you are. Are you here to...
You step.
Oh, I'm so...
She's.
Thank you.
Well, don't.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relation... Oh,
You know.
Wait, what about this option?
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too.
one way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it's a chance we'll have to take.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? Either way, she dropped her mark. You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. You close the basement door, locking it behind you. Okay. You settle in against the far wall. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways.
She sounds terrifying as she violently rattles the door.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
Doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
I can be innocent and harmless, if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills.
But actually a fish man?
What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually... I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. You're on a path. You're here to... Oh, she will... The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The blade is your implement. Hold on. What happened to the... It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The prince... So deep breath in. You walk... What do you... You read... Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there. We should have taken the knife. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mentioned the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back? She must have you confused with someone else. You really don't remember, do you? It doesn't matter, we need a game plan. We know we can't just go down there unprepared.
Wait, what?
You attempt to step off the stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an invisible force. Why did you do that? What did you think would happen? Congratulations, you really lucked out. Of all the things that could have happened from stepping into a void, nothing is quite possibly the best outcome you could have gotten. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones, visible against the inky black of the basement, mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Oh, there's a little more to this. Interesting.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow. This is it, isn't it?
No little knife this time. It's almost like you want me to get you.
There has to be a way out of this. Think! Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Is right the same thing?
You faintly...
Same thing.
You decide it's best to...
There you...
With your...
Same thing.
You turn back with your...
Same thing. What if I go one more? Actually, no. Just. What about that? What about that point?
You make your way up.
Wait, really? You're here to...
I see. You're trying to get her to lower her guard.
Come downstairs. I want to see the
You walk down the stair. I am...
Hi. I can't believe... I hope you brought something to deal...
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but... You're only making this more...
Thank you.
Doubtful.
Okay.
I don't remember that option being there, actually, now that I think about it.
You tried to...
If I...
She barely had as she rips her flesh. Or you...
Okay, what if I stab her here?
Without hesitation, you bring the wound drives her to the ground. Okay. There's no going back now.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see that's an act? She's wounded and I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity. Your knife cuts into her again and again as your forget about trying to rescue her. This is... Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push... We can still turn this around.
Oh, this is interesting. This is also different.
Are you serious? The princess, wounded but still alive, nervously jumps at the blade and kicks it far away from you. Her shining eyes watch you from the darkness. We can only hope the wounds you managed to inflict will be... This is the end, isn't it? Before...
Oh, that's different.
You're on a path. You're here. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you... Noble. I guess we'll just have the... Yeah, she growls up the...
I can smell you.
She sounds almost... feral, impatient. Or maybe... eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. A chain rattles in the underbrush, and as its links drag across the floor, you see pieces of her move in and out of the shadows. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. She emerges, her shining eyes and glistening claws visible in the gloom, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you.
I missed one line. Yeah, double check that one.
Her shining eye. We can only hope.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
This is the end. Before you can answer, everything goes black, and you die. You're here to slay her. You steel your resolve and take another step closer. Excuse me? What's this about not making it out of here alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the... Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? You take another step forward. The two of you enter one last exchange. A flurry of blade and claw. You collapse on the ground.
After all this time alone...
Silent. There it is again. But you don't have the time left. You're on a path.
Oh, it rediverted this. Wait.
You collapse on the ground.
After all this...
Silence was the rule. You've paid a terrible price.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look. But you don't have the time left. You're here to slay.
This should be the same
The
one
princess
before.
is still chained. What if she doesn't succumb to her wounds? What, you rush up the stairs, you close the base. Okay, you settle. It isn't like...
I know you're still.
She sad as she...
When I get out, you don't.
No.
Is there a difference here? I doubt this.
These aren't.
You put the print... Where is she?
Thanks for helping me.
That's the same.
I wouldn't be so sure about outlasting me. You're so.
You put the print... Where is she?
Thanks for helping.
Same thing.
Do you think a couple of cuts is enough to do me in? I'm not as frail as.
You put the princess's threat... You job... Where is she?
Thanks for helping.
You try and stumble... Just ignore her. You put the print... Where is she?
It's.
These are all the same, and these are nightmares.
The door...
Am I forgetting anything? Actually, wait, what is the ending again for nothing?
Fine. There's always a choice. A terrible sense of deja vu. If you don't, you know I can.
The door, the air here has her voice carries.
Hi.
This.
No.
It takes you a moment to orient you.
I've lost track of how many endings I've gotten. But, I mean, I see the premise here. They don't give you a lot much more to work with, so, I mean, I guess I'm considered done?